Bojo and Dinner with McGonagall. Welcome to the Twylia Zone. Forgive my voice. I have rugby supporter voice today from cheering on the Seattle Seawolves yesterday as they made it into the playoffs. So, hashtag worth it. Just wanted to check in with you guys and just drop a video, talk about what's going on. Lots of stuff going on in the world. I mentioned on my last video that I was going to be recalibrating the channel a bit. That is still the plan. I actually participated in the ChatGPT therapy thing. That was super interesting. My God. First I gave it my astrological information. Then I, prompted it to answer some questions that were, developed and have been floating around on the internet, on social media. And then I went in and using some of the basis of that prompt, asked it to highlight a career or vocation that would be good for me based on what it had told me in the therapy session. That was mind-blowing. So I'm going to take a few hints from that. It wasn't really too far off what I would have already wanted to do and have wanted to do in my past. But it clarified and gave language to something that I couldn't quite language. So yeah, so based off of that, little hot tea. By the way, this is Big Heart Chai. I love that tea company. It's kind of spendy, so I only use it on special occasions, but it's really, really good tea. Not an endorsement. I'm not, no brand dropping whatever here, just passing along information. So, in the spirit of what ChatGPT clarified for me and languaged for me, it helps me to move ahead in deciding what to do with this channel. Now, it's called the Twylia Zone, and the byline is Grace is your superpower. That's gonna stay the same because I still 100% believe in that. But I'm going to create a couple of different zones for myself. One of them will be called the terrestrial Twylia, and that will be me exercising some of my eco-psychology awareness, some of my learnings as a reconnecting Ojibwe. There will be another channel or playlist, I guess, called Extra-terrestrial Twylia. I haven't told you guys that I thought I saw a UAP a couple of weeks ago. Some people say, oh no, it was a weather balloon. Maybe it was. Well, maybe it was a UAP. So I'll be doing a little bit of that. That probably won't get a ton of hits, but it might. Or content. That's what I'm looking for. And then I'm going to have another playlist that will be called, I think, Skywatcher or Cloud Watcher. I've been really into observing clouds, and I am in love with the clouds that we have been getting. And I feel like they have something to say to us. So I'm going to try and potentially intuit what those messages would be, and see if we can't, find some common ground on that. Today, it's so hot. There are no clouds in the sky. So kind of a bummer, but that doesn't mean, for me anyway, that there's nothing to read in the sky. And so I think I'm going to take those off. I'm going to take those off. I can do what I want. Anyway, so that doesn't mean there's nothing in the sky that can't be intuited. So I'm going to do that. And then there will be a playlist that I'm just going to title Grace Over Greed. And I think that's going to help me to be a little more focused when I talk to people about grace, when I talk to you about grace, when I'm trying to learn grace. Like, that's the context. Why? Why should we move toward grace? And one of the challenges that I'm finding with the content on this channel is that because the majority of what you see on the internet with regard to grace is wrapped into Christianity. And that's not what I'm about. I think you've heard me say that before. Not about that. That's not the kind of grace I'm talking about. I'm talking about our human superpower, our inherent ability to give grace to ourselves and to each other. So the idea is that if I give it a title where, with the context of grace over greed, then I think that will help me to have, hopefully develop better content. That's going to help me develop better content. I know it, 100%. And then I'm thinking about another zone called the Kokum Zone. So Kokum is an Anishinaabe Ojibwe word for a grandmother. It's actually Nokomis, but because Nojashin hasn't been able to say Nokomis up until this point, he just calls me Kokum. So I may do a zone called the Kokum Zone. So we'll have the terrestrial Twylia Zone, the extra-terrestrial Twylia Zone. We'll have Skywatching Zone. That name's going to probably change to something else. And then Grace Over Greed Zone. And then we will have potentially the Kokum Zone. I don't really know. I only have an inkling of content that I would want to put in there. But I think it's about a 93.796% chance that that's going to actually come to be. What else? Just, remember to love yourself enough to give yourself grace. And in doing that, you're going to create grace for the rest of the world, for your community and for your family. And that grace is going to grow exponentially between us, in the spaces between us. And, we will, by doing that now, learning how to do that now, we'll be much better prepared for things that are, potentially on the horizon for us, for the challenges that are ahead. So love yourself, give yourself grace, know that I love you. I'm doing this partly for myself, but also hopefully someone out there gets something from it. And yeah, just take it easy. Just claim peace as much as you can with your eyes open. Stand up. If you see something bad happening, stand up in grace and protect people. Stand up in righteousness and protect people, protect yourself. So, yeah, just wanted to come on here and get that laid flat. And I hope you all are well and stay tuned for more content. Bum up.